Some drugs like to bind to the plasma proteins. This is usually albumin, but there are others. Drugs that are bound are inactive, and some more is needed to reach a therapeutic dose and to fill up those receptor sites. Let's give a patient a drug, shall we? Here's drug A. First of all, we'll need to give a loading dose. This will start to fill up the proteins, but you can see we're going to need a little bit more. There we are. Now we've filled up all the protein sites and the receptors are able to utilise some of drug A. This means that we've reached a therapeutic dose. Some drugs are more highly protein bound or bind faster. It just means that the proteins like them a little bit better. If we were to add another one into the mix, it may displace that drug. Let's give this patient a different drug, shall we? How about drug B? There you go. You can see that drug B has come along and displaced drug A off of the receptor sites. This means that we now have a toxic level of drug A in the blood, but we won't have a therapeutic dose of drug B at all. Let's have a look at an example, shall we? Here we have a patient going to surgery. Our patient is usually on warfarin, which is a blood thinner, and in this example is drug A, and phenytoin, an anticonvulsant, which in this case is drug B. Both drugs are highly protein bound, but as we can see, the patient is on a sufficient dose of both in order to have a therapeutic effect, as both receptors are all filled up. However, 3 days before surgery, we're going to stop the warfarin. This is so that the patient doesn't have a bleed. And as you can see, some of the warfarin has left the system. There is no longer a therapeutic effect as none of the receptors have got any of drug A in them, and some of the protein has lost its drug A as well. This means that phenytoin will move off of the receptor site. This is because it prefers to be protein bound. As we no longer have a therapeutic effect of drug B because there's no longer any on the receptors, our patient is likely to suffer a seizure. Well, now you know all about plasma protein binding. Thank you for listening.